Everyone, so today we're going to talk about the Clostridium perfringens. So the Clostridium perfringens is actually rod shaped bacteria and of genus the Clostridium, okay, and they are usually the gram positive rods, as we can see over here in the image. Okay, now what else? See, they are gram positive, and with that they are anaerobic also, means they doesn't require O2, and they are spore forming also, means if they are spore forming, that means they are not get killed in the stomach by acid, okay, because they have spores, okay, which is kind of resistance to, which is resistance to these, like, okay. Then what else? These are actually the pathogenic, the bacterium, okay, means they will cause certain kind of disease. Now what else is there? See, according to CDC estimation, these bacteria, like, they nearly cause 1 million illness in United States every year, means every year there will be 1 million cases in United States. Again, we can see over here that they are rod shaped, okay, and they are anaerobes, okay. Now what else is there? What exactly these Clostridium perfringens cause? They cause the gas gangrene, okay, as we can see over here there is like kind of gas gangrene over here, which is shown in the image, okay. And at last I will show you in the USMLE current book also how exactly the gas gangrene looks, okay. We will gonna do everything, so don't worry about it. Now let's continue. See, these Clostridium perfringens, they form endospores, as we can see this is Clostridium perfringens, and they are forming the endospores, okay. And that's why we can say that they can withstand extreme condition of starvation, acidity, temperature, and desiccation. What does it even mean? See, I have told you that if they have spores, if they have endospores, they are heat labile, right? So that means they are gonna survive in the acid also. So if anything can survive in the acid, they can survive the starvation and temperature and all this also, okay, in extreme harsh condition. Why it is happening? It happens because of this endospores, okay. Now let's continue, okay. I hope so you can see. Yeah, now let's continue. We are talking about the gas gangrene, okay. So now this is gas gangrene, which is caused by what? Perfringens, okay. Now we say that it is a bacterial disease, that we know, which is anaerobic, doesn't require O2 for growth, and this is basically the deadly disease if we can't treat it, or if the patient is not getting treatment on time, that the patient will gonna die, okay. This is a very deadly disease, that's why. And of course it will be because it is a gangrene, okay. Now the injured tissue, it will produce foul smelling gas, okay. So the smell will be kind of very bad, and there will be like gas, okay, under the tissue, okay. There will be myonecrosis, that the necrosis of the muscles. Now the deadly form of the gangrene usually is caused by this bacteria, which is again the Clostridium perfringens, and this bacteria is responsible for causing the gas gangrene, okay. Hope you guys got it. Now let's talk about further. So the gas gangrene symptoms, they are like swelling, and which is quite obvious if something is something gonna get necrosed, and there will be like muscles gonna affected. So many things are like happening over there, so many not inflammatory, but like so many different process is happening over there. And because of the one toxin, that is alpha toxin also, which is produced by this bacteria particularly, so because of that also there is like swelling, and there will be necrosis, there will be numbness on the affected area, there will be fever, right, and there will be skin discoloration, as we can see over here, okay. Skin will get discolorized, and there will be foul smelling discharge from the lesions, right. And that's why we are saying it gets gangrene, isn't it, right? And that will be like distinctly black, and there will be bubble lesions on the skin. I will show you the image, okay. Don't worry about it, just go with me, okay. Now let's move forward, right. So if we talk about the Clostridium perfringens, basically they can cause the myonecrosis, okay, by specific exotoxin, which I have told, right. Now this myonecrosis is basically the necrotic damage over that particular muscle tissue, okay. Now these bacteria is a opportunistic pathogen and in general enter the body through significant skin breakage. Okay, so generally we say that if there is some kind of like skin breakage, maybe any skin breakage, maybe we got injured in knee while like playing or something. Okay, so any kind of skin injured or breakage that can lead to it, right? And it is opportunistic pathogens that it can present with other deadly disease also. Right, so that's why it is opportunistic pathogen. Okay, what else is there? See, now see this gangrenous infection is soil borne bacteria, which is I have just told you that like while for example the child is playing and there is a like breakage in the skin while playing, I mean the child fall down and got injured, right? So there will be some kind of soil also over there, so these bacteria typically present there. Okay, so according to this, who are most exposed to the soil and all? So if we say the soldiers are mostly exposed, right, isn't it? So for example, especially in the 20th century, right? So 20th century, right? Why? So because the field is non-sterile. Okay, and for example, I'm sorry. Okay, so for like there, and the soldiers got so many wounds also, so ultimately they are like more prone to getting these bacteria, and ultimately you can say the gas gangrene, right? So that is just for understanding purpose, isn't it? Now let's continue. So now we have talked about, okay, so there is some injury which I have just told you, right? Some injuries there. Now what is happening exactly? So this bacteria will enter. So this bacteria, we can say it have the spores. So there we can say spores of Clostridium perfringens, they germinate in this open wound. Okay, and what will happen? They will produce the cytotoxic factor, which is particularly they will produce the alpha toxin, right? Which I've told you previously. Alpha toxin is associated with hemolysis. What does it mean? It means that when alpha toxin will go into the blood, it will affect the RBC, and what will happen? There will be hemolysis. Okay, breakage of the RBC, and when the RBC will get breakdown, there will be release of the theta toxin, and this theta toxin, it will damage the blood vessels, and that's how the patient is getting affected, right? Now let's continue. As we can see that as this surrounded like circulatory system collapse, which I've just told you over here, that theta toxin will damage the blood cells, which I've told you this mechanism step by step, right? So when the blood vessels got damaged, we can say that what is happening, we can say that as a circulatory system is getting collapsed over here, right? What will happen next? So neutrophil and monocyte, eosinophil and basophil, they will try to cope up, but they will not able to reach the target area of infection, right? As you can see over here. Why so? Because the blood vessels are damaged, so they can't reach there properly, right? So that's why there is further problem, and that's why it is deadly, right? This infection is deadly. Now we can say that alpha toxin, it's exhibit the ability of to infiltrate surrounding cellular tissue and cause a cascade of aberrant biochemical activities. It's just the same meaning which we are which we are reading till now. Okay, that's the meaning in short, right? Now continue. So the hemolytic activity of this alpha toxin, they produce a anaerobic environment, right, which is quite obvious, right? Because these bacteria, rod-shaped bacteria, they love the environment without O2, right? So if the RBC got killed, there will be no O2, of course, so anaerobic environment will get created, so it will be easy for them for their growth and proliferation. So that's what it means. Now unlike other anaerobic infection, the discharge in these infection is not purulent, right? That means it's not like pussy type. Okay, why it is so? Is because of it's kind of like mechanism and all, right? So it's non-purulent. That's main thing you have to remember, because non-purulent means no pus. Okay, but on mostly other anaerobic infection, I'm sorry, there is a movement of my hand because my hand got tired. I'm really sorry about that. Anyways, let's continue. So 1 minute, I'm sorry, I can't wait. Yeah, let's continue. So unlike other anaerobic infection, the discharge is non-purulent, means non-pussy. Now, instead, the discharge often described as sweaty, purted, or we can say like a dishwater pus, because it is much thinner than normal pus. Okay, so that means this pus is kind of like often it is non-pussy, and it's kind of like we can say it as that this like this putrid water. Okay, sweaty putrid water, that means just like dishwashing, we are washing the dish, not that kind of water, because it's not actually the pus, it's very thinner. So that's what it's mean over here. Okay, now next let's see about this. The toxin, it can carry like by the circulation from the damaged tissue to other organ, right? So the toxin can travel from the blood vessels to other organ, that is quite obvious. And when this toxin, that alpha toxin, will travel to other organs, it will cause what is, it will cause the systemic effect. And what will happen, there can be shock, because systemic now other organs are getting affected, so there can be shock, there can be renal failure, and there can be intravascular hemolysis, which I have told you just few slides ago, right? Okay, so because, and shock will be due to the multisystemic failure or multisystemic damage, right? So that's what it means. Now continue to that, the Clostridium perfringens bacteria, they are one of the most common cause of the food poisoning. Yes, it's true, they lead to food poisoning also. According to CDC estimate, these bacteria affect nearly 1 million illness in the United States every year. This line comes again, and it is quite important. Now we see when we take this spicy, like this is specimen, right? I'm sorry about my vocabulary, right? So when there is like specimen, we took that right from diseased tissue, we just took the sample. So what is happening, we will stain it with the gram stain, and we see that these are what, these are large gram positive rods which are observed. Okay, means under these we will observe these that they are large plus they are gram positive rods. Okay, and what if we culture it? So when we culture it anaerobically, we will culture it on the blood agar, and we see that this Clostridium perfringens, they have some kind of unique double zone of beta hemolysis. As we can see over here, this is our beta hemolysis. Okay, but here we can see this is double zone of beta hemolysis, right? So that what it's mean, that it's this perfringens can like forming this kind of thing. Okay, now let's continue further. We are almost there, don't worry about it. Now the infection has not spread much. For example, there are two scenarios when the patient will come to us. If patient come early, most likely the infection will not get spread like so much in the body till that time, so we will just prescribe certain medications which we will gonna see further. But if it's too much, we have to go for further treatment, we will see it, right? Now let's see about the treatment of the gas gangrene. So immediate treatment we should do about it, because otherwise the patient need amputation if so much necrosis has already happened, right? So immediate treatment is required, and the wound debridement or amputation should be done. Otherwise it will spread further in the body, and it will very hazard. And if it's so much, then we are doing that. It means if the patient has arrived late, right? So that's the treatment for that. Then exposure of wound to hyperbaric oxygen should be given. Why we are giving this hyperbaric oxygen, where there's so much oxygen in this machine, is because these bacteria, they grow anaerobically, even in our body. They break the RBC and they cause the intravascular hemolysis, so that there will be anaerobic condition, because RBC, they transport the O2 in different part of the body. So they just need one thing, they need growth, and for that they need anaerobic, means without O2, no oxygen environment at all. So for that, if we give the hyperbaric oxygen, means if we give too much oxygen, definitely they will not gonna grow. So that what it's about, we have talked about. Now what about the drugs? So there will be penicillin G or doxycycline. So we have to give high dose, because see, it is very deadly, so we have to give the high dose of the penicillin G, and the doxycycline should also be administered. That's what we have to remember. Now let's just see about the USMLE book, which I was telling you to show you, right? So 2024 latest edition, right? So here it is, this feature, this image is actually the Clostridium perfringens. These are gas gangrene, blackish color. This myonecrosis has happened over here, right? And what is that? This alpha toxin is actually lethicines a phospholipase. Okay, so right, lipase. Okay, that means it will do some kind of breakdown or something. Okay, it will lead to the myonecrosis. There will be gas gangrene, and we will hurt the soft tissue crepitus, because there's gas, right? That's what it means. Hemolysis is happening, spores are forming, and And for example, if heavy spores contaminated food, if you have eaten it contaminated food, like we have cooked it, but after that cooking it's okay, this is like, but after that we have left it for less than 60 degrees, somehow we left the food, okay, we don't want to eat right now, that's why, okay, and we don't know they have spores in it, right? So we have left it in less than 60 degree. What will happen, these spores, they will germinate again. So if we're gonna eat that food after that, in a way we are taking the vegetative bacteria and that have the enterotoxic, okay, and what will happen, there will be late onset, 10 to 12 hours there will be food poisoning symptoms, and the resolution will be in 24 hours. Okay, now let's see this kind of mnemonic, that the Perfringens perforate a gangrenous leg, Perfringens perforate a gangrenous leg, right? Isn't this matching, right? And spontaneous gas gangrene via hematogenesis seeding, same meaning, right? Hematogenesis seeding is happening. That simply means alpha toxin is going here and there, and it's getting like growth because of anaerobic environment, right? And associated with the clonic malignancy. Now this is also important, and it is most commonly caused by the Clostridium septicum. What does it mean? It means that this clonic malignancy is most commonly caused by the Clostridium septicum, but yeah, Perfringens can also lead to that. Hope you guys enjoy it, and if you really understood my content or lecture, then please do subscribe, because it's completely absolutely free for you guys, and I'm also like taking my time off some to like make such videos. And if there is like any fault, or if you're not able to understand anything, or if you even have any doubt, you can just directly like comment me, like the video is not good, you should make it better or make it easier or something like this. I will love to do that, okay? So don't worry about it, and thank you so much. Goodbye, take care, all the best.